Myles Garrett finally breaking the NFL's single-season sack record feels less like a surprise and more like the inevitable conclusion to a season-long pursuit that was defined by patience, confidence, and sheer dominance. When Garrett brought down Joe Burrow with just over 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, it wasn't merely sack number 23. It was the moment he separated himself from history and claimed a throne that had been shared by legends for more than 2 decades. What made the moment so powerful wasn't just the sack itself, but everything surrounding it. Garrett didn't celebrate with wild emotion or disbelief. He took a bow. That gesture said everything. It wasn't relief. It wasn't shock. It was acknowledgement of the work, the expectation, and the belief that this moment was always coming. As his teammates rushed the field to surround him, the celebration felt communal, almost symbolic of how much Garrett means not just to Cleveland's defense, but to the identity of the franchise. The anticipation had been building for weeks. Garrett entered the season already recognized as one of the league's most feared pass rushers, but this year felt different from the start. There was an edge to his play, a sense of purpose that went beyond winning individual matchups. Every snap carried intent, every rush looked calculated. And even when the sacks didn't come easily late in the year, Garrett never wavered in his confidence. He said it plainly earlier in the week. His belief never faded. That confidence wasn't bravado. It was rooted in preparation and history. Joe Burrow was a fitting quarterback for the record to come against. Few quarterback pass rusher matchups in the modern NFL are as familiar or as layered as Garrett versus Burrow. They've seen each other countless times within the AFC North, and Burrow's quick release and calm under pressure have often limited the damage Garrett could do. For much of Sunday, it looked like that trend might continue. Burrow repeatedly got the ball out just in time, neutralizing rushes that would have resulted in sacks against less composed quarterbacks. That only made the eventual breakthrough more meaningful. Garrett stayed relentless. He didn't press. He didn't abandon technique. He trusted that if he kept winning his reps, the opportunity would present itself. When it finally did, it was decisive. Speed off the edge, power through contact, and perfect timing. No controversy. No question marks. Just a clean sack that etched his name alone at the top of the NFL record book. The record itself had stood as a symbol of pass rushing excellence since Michael Strahan set it in 2001, and T.J. Watt later matched it in 2021. Both players represent different eras and styles of defense, but Garrett surpassing them speaks to how special this season truly was. Today's NFL is designed to limit sacks. Quarterbacks get the ball out faster, offenses use spread concepts, and protections are built specifically to neutralize elite edge rushers. That Garrett still managed to reach 23 sacks under those conditions elevates the achievement beyond raw numbers. What truly separates this season, however, is that Garrett's impact extended far beyond sacks. He entered Week 18 leading the league with 32 tackles for loss, a career high that underscores how disruptive he has been against both the pass and the run. This wasn't a season where he simply hunted quarterbacks and disappeared on early downs. He lived in the backfield. He blew up run plays before they could develop. He forced offenses to change game plans entirely, often before the opening drive was finished. Those details matter when evaluating greatness. Anyone can look at the sack total and be impressed, but coaches and teammates understand that Garrett's value shows up in subtler ways. Offensive coordinators sliding protection toward him opens opportunities for others. Quarterbacks altering launch points changes timing across the entire offense. Running backs hesitating in the backfield creates negative plays. Garrett doesn't just end drives, he disrupts structure. That's why the idea of Garrett eyeing even bigger milestones doesn't sound far-fetched. Throughout the season, he wrote the number 25 on his wrist tape, a quiet reminder of where he wanted this year to go. Even as he secured the record at 23, there was a sense that he wasn't finished thinking about what could have been. He also flirted with J.J. Watt's single-season tackles for loss record, another indicator of how close he came to producing one of the most complete defensive seasons in league history. This season also fits seamlessly into the broader narrative of Garrett's career. Drafted first overall in 2017, he arrived in Cleveland carrying the burden of expectations and the hope of transforming a struggling franchise. Over 9 seasons, he has been nothing short of consistent excellence. He became the youngest player to reach 100 career sacks. He earned Defensive Player of the Year honors. He stacked All-Pro selections, and now he owns a record that defines an era. Yet there's an underlying tension that makes this moment even more compelling. Despite Garrett's brilliance, Cleveland has rarely matched his individual success with sustained team success. For long stretches, his sack chase has been one of the few bright spots in difficult seasons. That reality gives this record a bittersweet edge. It's a personal triumph achieved without the backdrop of playoff glory, which somehow makes it feel more earned rather than less. The bow Garrett took after the sack encapsulated that perfectly. It wasn't a celebration of one play. It was a salute to persistence, to excellence maintained regardless of circumstance. It was a reminder that greatness doesn't require the perfect environment. It demands commitment, preparation, and belief. Looking ahead, this record cements Garrett's legacy, but it also resets expectations. From this point forward, he isn't just chasing sacks, he's setting the standard. Younger pass rushers will be measured against this season. Analysts will reference this number whenever someone threatens the record, and Hall of Fame conversations will point back to this moment as a turning point where dominance became undeniable. Myles Garrett didn't stumble into history. He hunted it, believed in it, and ultimately claimed it. Against a familiar rival, under maximum pressure in the final week of the season, he delivered exactly what he said he would. And in doing so, he didn't just break a record, he defined what a peak defensive season looks like in the modern NFL. Myles Garrett finally breaking the NFL's single-season sack record feels less like a surprise and more like the inevitable conclusion to a season-long pursuit that was defined by patience, confidence, and sheer dominance. When Garrett brought down Joe Burrow with just over 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, it wasn't merely sack number 23. It was the moment he separated himself from history and claimed a throne that had been shared by legends for more than 2 decades. What made the moment so powerful wasn't just the sack itself, but everything surrounding it. Garrett didn't celebrate with wild emotion or disbelief. He took a bow. That gesture said everything. It wasn't relief. It wasn't shock. It was acknowledgement of the work, the expectation, and the belief that this moment was always coming. As his teammates rushed the field to surround him, the celebration felt communal, almost symbolic of how much Garrett means not just to Cleveland's defense, but to the identity of the franchise. The anticipation had been building for